Hey everyone, welcome to The Doors New Year's Music Special. My name is Tori Gilliland and I'm here today with Zach Meeks, and we're going to be talking through some of the music and the songs that we've had from the first season here at The Door. So before we get into too much today, I want to welcome you all. We're going to be here for a little while talking about the behind the scenes, looking at different clips, and so make sure you've got good sound on, a comfy seat, and that you're ready to go. So this is Zach. Zach, welcome. You are a friendly, more familiar face here than I am. But do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you find yourself here on the Door Faith Space?
Sure. Well, first of all, I don't know if I have a more friendly face than you, Tori, but at the same time, maybe I've been on camera a little bit more, I guess, with The Door doing the music. But decided with a couple of folks here at our community that we wanted to do something for people everywhere, not just folks here in the Houston area that we're wanting something different and new, that maybe we're worried about going to their local church because of COVID or for a number of reasons. And we wanted to provide a space for them to be able to worship and to learn about their faith. And this was an opportunity to do that. And so we jumped at it.
That's awesome. You said space. We're here in this space, but other people are watching with us at home. When you think about a faith space, what does that mean?
Our hope for everyone watching is that it would be a comfortable place to explore their faith with no judgment, but hopefully with an open mind and open heart to hear from God.
I love that. And I think a lot of the songs that we're going to talk about today speak into that and maybe can meet different people where they are in that faith journey, especially as we start a new year.
Absolutely.
So talking about New Year's and new starts, let's talk about the start of this faith space. I think the first song is from Psalm 23. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that first song, why you picked it, maybe how it has to do with the name of The Door?
Sure. So when we first started doing The Door, Reagan and we talked about doing the Psalms and having a look at the Psalms, because especially in our particular community, we talk about the Gospels a lot, or we have a New Testament reading or an Old Testament reading, but the Psalms are read, and a lot of times we don't really dig into what they're really saying. We read them or we hear them sung, but we don't discuss them.
Okay.
And that was the mindset going into those first few weeks of The Door. And so when we talked about Psalm 23, it's like, yes, I have to do this song. It's called Surely Goodness, Surely Mercy. It's by Shane and Shane, just a great band. They've been around for a long time, but when I heard we were doing Psalm 23, that was a must. And it's just a beautiful song, a beautiful expression of what that psalm talks about. And Reagan pointed out, it's the gospel in the Psalms.
The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. In green pastures he makes me lie down. He restores my soul and leads me on for his name, for his great name. Surely goodness, surely mercy, right beside me all my days, and I will dwell in your house forever, and bless your holy
Song that we're going to look at today is called Thankful. And I was just telling Zach, I had never heard that song until I heard it on The Door. And it's one that has just been an earworm. It's just completely stuck with me. I think I've watched the video 2 or 3 times. So what's the story behind Thankful?
So as I was growing up, especially during late high school, early college years, there was a band local to Texas, but they became a little bit bigger, called Caedmon's Call. And so really, really great band. I think they were really big in the college scene, like young adult scene here in Texas, and in worship and things like that.
Cool.
And that song came out kind of late 90s. And it was an earworm for me too. Like I could not get over how great that song was. And when they played it in concert, they actually used trash cans as percussion instruments
Like
in the song,
big-
like the big metal trash cans that
Okay.
nobody uses anymore. But
Sure.
but yeah, so that's they were just banging on those. And so when I thought about, okay, I really want to do that song, like how can we make this different? And luckily, we have Dwayne, who is kind of like a MacGyver of sorts, and he brings in this suitcase kick drum. That if you watch the video, you'll see it. It's basically just an old suitcase that he's attached a kick drum pedal to. And that made all the difference in the world, having that good percussive sound on there. But yeah, this song is just about being thankful for God, being who he is and doing what he said he's going to do, and knowing that it's all him. Like he's the one that works in salvation and brings us to himself and draws us to himself. And just, kind of putting your hands up and saying like, I'm thankful. I'm thankful it's not about me, because if it were about me, I would totally screw this up. It's all about you. And that's what the idea of that song came in, and I just love it.
I had to laugh about the same old struggles that plague me then are plaguing me still. 'Cause I know the road is long from the ground to glory, but a boy can hope he's getting someplace. But you see how I'm running from the very clothes I'm wearing. When dressed like this, I'm fit for the chase. 'Cause no, there is none righteous, not one who understands. There is none who seek God, no, not one. Said no, not one. So I am thankful that I'm incapable of doing any good on my own.
Our next song today is Trust in You, which is a song that maybe some of you have heard before, but probably never heard it in the way that you heard it here on The Door Face Face with Zach and the band. It was a beautiful arrangement.
That was so awesome. And Bethany, the way that she sang it, it was great. It was so great.
I think even personally, this song kind of speaks to something that I felt like God was really teaching me in 2020. Sometimes I feel like when you're up against a mountain, and there was a lot going on that we all share, but I think we even personally had mountains in 2020. I think all year we've been talking about our shared mountain, which was definitely the coronavirus. And sometimes that can eclipse different things that are going on personally in your life, in the life of people watching at home. And so knowing that whether it's the big mountain that we're all facing or maybe a little mountain that feels really big, like even if God is, maybe he's moving the mountain, maybe he's moving me, maybe he's blowing a tunnel through the mountain, right? There's just like so many different ways that he can work in that. But our admission that it just takes that moment of surrender and trust in him is definitely something that I want to carry into 2021.
Letting go of every single dream, I lay each one down at your feet. Every moment of my wandering never changes what you see. I've tried to win this war, I confess. My hands are weary, I need your rest. Mighty warrior, king of the fight. No matter what I face, you're by my side. When you don't move the mountains, I'm needing you to move. When you don't part the waters, I wish I could walk
song is called Lord of Hosts, and it's from Psalm 46. And this one is, I know I said the last song lingered with me, and I'll probably say that for most of the songs, but this one really stuck with me. It's like haunting in the best way. It carries you through your whole day. So, Zach, tell me about this one.
So again, we're going back to Shane and Shane, or as I like to call them, the Shanes.
The Shanes, okay.
And this is one that they put together that when I first heard it, I had goosebumps. And I wanted it to be a little bit different. And so there's a male lead on the recording of that one that the Shanes do, because, it's the Shanes. But so we wanted Bethany to sing it, and she did a fantastic job. And we also added in some piano, and I think it was one of the first few where John joined us. And what's really cool about that is that John is a classically trained pianist and organist. And I mean, he's referred to as Dr. Meyer. I'm not sure if he actually has his doctorate, but I mean, he knows the keyboard and the organ inside and out, and just an amazing musician. But yeah, so this song, I love just the expression of Lord of Hosts, you're with us in the fire. Wherever we go, that he's going to protect us and be our stronghold and our fortress. And it's powerful. Like you said, it gives you chills. Like even to think about it.
Oh, come behold the works of God, the nations at his feet. He breaks the bow and bends the spear and tells the wars to cease. Almighty One of Israel, you are on our side. We walk by faith in God who burns the chariots with fire. Lord of hosts, you're with us in the fire, with us as a shelter, with us in the storm. You will lead us through the fiercest battle. Oh, where else would we go but with the Lord of hosts? Oh, God of Jacob, fierce and great, lift your voice to speak. Perfect cause and all the mountains move into the sea. Oh Lord, you know the hearts of men, still you let them live. Oh God, who makes the mountains melt, come rest on us and live. Oh God, who makes the mountains melt, come rest on us and live. My heart be still. Though the earth gives way, the mountains move into the sea, the nations rage, I know my God is in control. Though oceans roar, you are the Lord of all, the one who calms the wind and waves, and makes my heart beat still. Though the earth gives way, the mountains move into the sea, the nations rage, I know
us in the fire, with us as a shelter, with us in the storm. You will lead us through the fiercest battle. Oh, where else would we go but with the Lord of hosts? Lord of hosts, you're with us in the fire, with us as a shelter, with us in the storm. You will lead us through the fiercest battle. Oh, where else would we go with the Lord of
Our next song, Nothing But the Blood, is a song that is pretty familiar. It's a hymn, but the version that we have here on the door is very unique. And Zach, you were telling me what makes the song so special and unique to the Door of Faith space.
Well, like you said, you know, the lyrics and the melody that we even did are timeless, and especially if you grew up in the Baptist church like I did, it's one of those that we pretty much sang at least once a month, I feel like. But yeah.
But not your
Yeah,
hands.
yeah.
You get to put it
right, no
put it
hands,
down.
no
Yeah,
hands.
okay.
But in this one, we actually took the whole chord progression, even the guitar riffs from the Pixies song, Where Is My Mind? In which, you know, old school, like kind of punk band, like punk rock band. And
I'm pretending to know.
yeah,
Great.
it's okay. Okay, we'll show you. It's good.
You guys can Google it.
Yeah. So with this song, the way it worked out, and I don't know what was going on. I was kind of listening to that song on YouTube, and I realized that the hymn tune and the lyrics just went with it perfectly. And so as we're listening to these lyrics and listening to this song, you know, you do the head bob and you kind of nod along, but those lyrics sink in. And I know for me, growing up hearing it all the time, it just stays with you. And like one of the verses that aren't always sung, but it says, nothing can for sin atone, nothing but the blood of Jesus. And that's our hope. That's our hope as believers in Christ, is that, you know, yes, we're going to screw up. Yes, we have so much to atone for, but it's not our own doing. We don't go and atone for those things. It's only by the blood of Jesus and our faith in him that we're forgiven and set free from those things, those chains that bind us all the time. And so, yeah, love to hear the song over and over again. Even if it's like a grandma playing like an old upright piano, it still does the same thing for me. But I love being able to kind of give it a fresh, kind of new coat to give out to the world.
Yeah. Fresh and new is how we feel after we're made whole again in the blood. And so we hope that that's also a theme going into 2021, that we can know that our last year, our last life is covered in Jesus's blood, and we get newness this year. our next song, Give Me Jesus, is a more recent song on The Door. I think it came out in the beginning of December. And this song is really unique because this one got released on Facebook at a really unique time that really was powerful for a lot of people. So do you want to talk about that a little bit, Zach?
Sure. Here at our church, we had a member, a man here that a lot of us are close to, and a good friend, and you never would have known, but this person ended up taking his own life, and just a tremendous just blow that we were not expecting, that no one saw coming. And this song, when we sang it, was just for me, I think some of the other folks in the band weren't familiar with this person, but it was just an emotional song to remember that in the morning when we wake up, like during our life, and then when we finally, in the end, when we die, it's like, give me Jesus. Like that's the message, or the thing that as we go through this life, we remember is that all these things are going to pass away, but Jesus and his word are going to stand forever. And that's the promise that we cling to, is that there's hope. There's not just this feeling. I know a lot of people right now during COVID, that feeling of hopelessness has just risen up. When we're not fine, like we need to, first of all, hopefully we have someone we can confide in. But I think as fellow believers, we really need to, press in. If we see something in someone, or even if we don't, like, hey, how are you doing? Like check in on people.
Yes.
And really make sure, because you never really know what's going on in someone's life until you really ask and dig in, and don't just accept like, oh yeah, we're fine. Like don't let that be the final thing said. Like really check in on people that you love and care for. So anyway, as we were singing it, I know we finally got to the end, and I just kind of had a little emotional, like not a breakdown, but just kind of letting out some emotion at the end, and kind of explain what happened. But the song, when we finished recording it, I don't think a word was said for a good probably 20 seconds after it was over, which can feel like an eternity. But we knew after we recorded it that it was a special song for a special time in the life of our community.
In the morning when I arise, in the morning when I arise, in the morning when I rise, give me Jesus, give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world. Give me Jesus. come to die. Oh, and when I come to die. Oh, and when I come to die, give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world. Give me Jesus.
All right, so our last song today is O Come, Emmanuel. And this just has to be one of the greatest Christmas songs of all time,
Absolutely.
which is why you picked it, I'm
Oh,
sure.
of course.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can take something that was written basically for Gregorian chant, like hundreds and hundreds of years ago,
Okay.
and put it to new music. And the fact that we sing this every year at Christmas or in Advent season, really, it's so special that, you know, this melody and these lyrics like still exist today. Because when you originally would have heard it would have been in a like a beautiful cathedral or a monastery with, you know, monks just singing a cappella. And so every time I hear the song, like, that's kind of the vibe that usually comes to mind. And we kind of mixed it up a little bit this time.
I have sang that song probably every year since I was 2, and I did not know that. No, I had no clue. So that's going to bring a whole new depth of meaning. But our version was not like that. It was funky.
Yeah.
Did you do the arrangement for
Funky is the right word.
Yeah.
So I was sitting at home, and initially I had reached out to our bassist and said, "Hey, why don't you give this a shot? See about maybe putting it to some different music and kind of working your magic on it." And I was kind of just tinkering around on my acoustic guitar at home, and kind of made up a little riff. And I called Anthony, and I played it for him, and he was like, "Dude, I don't need to do it. Like, let's film that." And I'm like, "Oh." Okay, cool. Because I didn't really think anything of it. I was just having some fun. And he's like, "We have to film that." I was like, "Well, good thing, we're going to." And so it kind of went from there. And I think my favorite part of the whole song, like, even though it definitely has the funky vibe to it, what really brought the funk, if you will, was John adding his little keyboard part. I think it's called a clavier is the name of the instrument that we were emulating with the keyboard.
Okay.
And if you ever either seen the TV show or movie Shaft, like that's kind of the vibe that puts out, or the song Stevie Wonder, Superstitious.
Okay. Yep.
Like that's
Didn't get the first reference. Got the second one. Yep. Good.
Just talking about Shaft. Come on.
I know. I'm sorry.
But the clav brings out that funk vibe, and it's just awesome. So that is definitely there. So if you listen to the third verse, that really where it comes out in the forefront.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Count the wisdom from on high, and all things far and nigh. To us the path of knowledge show, and
everyone. Thank you so much for spending some time with me and Zach as we talked about the first season of The Door and talked through some of the greatest hits of the music from this season. You might have noticed our set is a little different. It's a little empty, and that's because we have some exciting things planned. We're going to take a break, but we'll be back in spring with season 2. So we're really looking forward to that. Be sure that you don't go anywhere, so make sure you've subscribed. If you have thoughts or ideas, or like we said, prayer requests, we'd love to hear those in the comments. We'd love to get to know you, talk with you. Let this be a real community. And so we will be back soon, and we wish you all a great 2021.